Good evening. You're flying with Pod Squadron podcast. All wings report in. This is Pod Job standing by.
This is Pod Tracer standing by.
Did you just dab? This is
I'm
Children of
cool,
Lesser
Jason.
Pods.
I'm cool.
Children of a Lesser Pod standing by. Dab.
All ships to attack formation. The mission objective is to talk about Star Wars in movies, streaming, animation, books, themed experiences, and your art and inspiration from the galaxy far, far away. Today's flight plan includes a May 4th roundup. Also, we are covering the Star Wars The Clone Wars Clovis Arc. That was a lot of claw. For all of you
That's what she said?
Hi. For all of you out there, all channels are open. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Find us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you know when we have new content. But first, I am your squad leader for today. I'm Andy Lowe, aka the Chinese pirate, actor, storyteller, puppeteer, performer, and fight choreographer. On my wing, as always, is Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy, also known as Hot Nerd Girl, and I hope all the mamas out there had a happy Mother's Day and happy belated birthday, Paul.
And on my other wing is Jason.
Hey, filmmaker, nerd guy, all around guy. I'm here. What's up, gang? Good to see you.
Congratulations for being here.
I'm a guy.
Thank you.
Sometimes that's like a big achievement.
It really
just
is.
Being here.
It really is. Today on this Monday, it's huge.
What's the quote? A small kind of victory.
Yeah, that's all I'm about. The small one. So yes, I'm good.
And we're meeting Lexi, who will probably join us later. But Lexi is a multidisciplinary artist and a death doula in training. You can find her at the Feral Geek, and she'll be joining us later. But we're just one squad in the fleet. We're part of the Geekish Network. That's right here on YouTube, also on Facebook. You can find us there. Check out all the other great shows that are here throughout the week. As foils to attack position, we're going in. Hi guys, how's it going?
Hey.
So a belated happy May the 4th to all, one and all. We did not have, of course, did not have a show on May the 4th, but we are here now to talk about everything that happened, everything that was revealed on the honored day of the Star Wars Day, of course. And you know, I'm realizing we didn't really divide these topics up. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at any of these reveals and bits?
Oh, all the May the 4th ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems like mostly
trailer.
experiences. Yeah. Oh, Obi-Wan trailer. Both two Obi.
Yeah.
We have two now.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So there's a bunch of stuff, right? So first of all, we're going to start with a Disney Plus series, right? So we did get a new trailer for the for Obi-Wan series, of course, which releases later this month, May 27th. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at the new trailer?
Yes.
Yes.
Any thoughts? Any?
Vader.
Yeah. Oh, the finish on Vader's arm.
I'm actually surprised
And
that we even got that little tease. I really thought that they were gonna just try to hold it off for like either one final trailer, like right before it opens, like maybe at Celebration, or just be like, no, you gotta wait and you gotta see him later. But
I mean, it feels like
maybe they'll do the mask.
But really, to be honest, I mean, we only just saw this little
his hand
panel light up.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw the hand too.
Right. Yeah. No, true. We just heard the breathing in the hand, but still,
Yeah.
I even think for them that's just like, you know, oh, okay. I'm glad we got a little tease. I knew we weren't going to get a full, you know, rematch on Mustafar kind of deal, but I mean, I'm like, you know,
maybe we'll get
nice
a face in the in the final one. Yeah.
I did get my I got my celebration badges today.
Actually, mine showed up as well. Actually.
Mine showed up on Friday or Saturday, and I pretty much immediately put them into the mail to the person who bought them from me. Wah, wah.
Oh wait, you sold them off?
Oh, you're not going at all?
I was thinking about going Thursday but I have a red eye flight that night, and and somebody was interested in buying the whole badge because they're light LYTE badge reselling. So it's totally okay to resell your badge.
Right.
But like if say you don't have a buyer, you can go through this light system that Star Wars Celebration has made a deal with. But there's quite a few people, I think, who, because they reopened ticket sales after a bunch of people refunded theirs during COVID, I don't think that most people who want to go were able to buy tickets. And so an opportunity arose from somebody who, wanted a badge, and I sold it, for a very deep discount, but at least I didn't lose all the money.
Right.
To it. So, and somebody who normally wouldn't have been able to go is going to be able to go now, and it was affordable for her. So, I'm happy about that. So yeah, but I'm still like, I have very conflicting feelings about it because I was so nervous about the big crowds, but at the same time, like I've been looking forward to this for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And, and I really missed out the last time I went because I didn't even make it past the first entrance. patrons because I was stuck posing for pictures the whole time, which is one of the reasons why I very rarely dress up at cons anymore, because I actually like to experience the con. I don't really give a shit about pictures. And so yeah, it's a mixed bag of feelings, but I'm feeling the feels, lots of feels.
You'll be missed. Sorry.
I'm going to be living vicariously through you guys.
Well,
while I have a Nagila.
We'll talk a little bit more about Celebration in a little bit. In fact, actually, some of the things we can talk about too. Okay, so of course, you know, Obi-Wan's coming up, and we got the new trailer. But check that out. We got to see Kumail Nanjiani. We saw the nurse droid, or at least the nurse droid's face.
IG-11. IG-11. Isn't the nurse droid IG-11?
IG-11 is
Bounty Hunter
Taika
droid.
Waititi.
What's the nurse droid? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Never mind. Just kidding. I'm tired.
The nurse droid that hangs out with a character that has not officially been announced in Obi-Wan, but most people know.
It's okay. I just brain farted. It's cool.
Sure. But a couple other things on Disney Plus. So they did also announce that another new docuseries focused on ILM. Which is produced by Brian Grazer and Ron Howard and directed by Lawrence Kasdan, will be joining Disney Plus on July 27th. And that should be pretty interesting, just kind of looking at the whole history of ILM and honestly, when you think about it, ILM is still at like the forefront of the entire like effects industry. So that should be a very interesting one.
That's the Light and Magic documentary?
Yeah. Docu-series, actually. I don't know how many episodes it is, but it is set to start July 27th. But more information will be available. Apparently, they are having a full panel at Star Wars Celebration, so that will probably be a chance to see maybe the first episode or so there. The other thing,
as long as you see Mike Guy in his little short shorts, that's all I care about.
There you go, short guy. I don't know. Did either of you guys check out the new episode of Disney Gallery for the Book of Boba Fett?
I did watch that. Yeah,
did you? I haven't seen it yet.
It was good. You know, I liked when they were talking about Mark Hamill and, you know, having Luke come back and all that. And I'm watching that point and they're talking about the deep fake technology and how much it's progressed and this and that. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to mention the guy that they hired from YouTube, or if they're going to want to take full credit and no, they went right to him and there he was. And I was like, hey, good for that guy. You know, I mean, I was just like, I was glad that he got credit where credit was due. So, I mean, they realized, they're like, oh, the technology just when we did Mando season 2 finale, it just wasn't there yet. But then this guy came along and so they copped to their shortcomings. And I thought that was really big of them. So, but the special on the whole was actually very informative about the whole process and the side characters and everything. It's really a good watch. So
now if Bob Chapek could only cop to his shortcomings.
He has a panel at Celebration, he will.
Did you any interesting tidbits about kind of Robert Rodriguez and his kind of process approaching it? I mean, I know there were many of us kind of talking about
the first half of that special is basically
and negatives of
the whole first half of that special is basically about Rodriguez and them bringing him on and his process and what he contributed and, you know, and what he thought of everything and, you know, and praising Favreau and Filoni and all that and a lot of guitar playing with Grogu. and Boba Fett too, like they were sitting there jamming together and, you know, and he's like, yeah, it helps relax my actors and get them in the zone, and they were singing and all that, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. So
awesome.
I
did not get a chance to sit down and watch that, but I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, it's good. It's like slightly over an hour. I think it's a quick watch, but there's a lot jam-packed in there, so yeah, good thing to check out.
I also see that finally joining us is Lexi. Welcome, Lexi.
I got the mic working, you guys. Grandma made the tech work.
And we are reunited once again, flying information. We're just talking about catching you up, Lexi. We're just kind of talking about some of the stuff that dropped, or information that dropped as of May the 4th. We were talking about some of the Disney Plus series announcements, and there's one other series that they have announced, but they haven't really told much about. but a new animated series, anthology series called Tales of the Jedi, and very little is known at this point. We don't know if it's following specific characters, or if it's kind of just bouncing around, kind of like Star Wars Visions, where it's like just various stories of Jedis kind of throughout the timeline.
Question:
But,
are we talking Tales or Tails?
Tails.
The former, not the latter.
Is this Tails? Is this Tails up? Yeah. Okay. Tails.
Am I dark? I feel like I'm dark right now. I think it's because the sun is coming in through the window behind me. I'm like,
You're on the dark side of the light shining.
Dark side of the Death Star, yeah.
Yes. But yes, so they're expecting also to have a panel at Celebration talking about the series, and more reveals to come after that. Yeah, so that one I'm looking forward to, because I've been pretty happy with a lot of the animation that has come out.
Yeah, it's been pretty quality. That's exciting.
Let's see here. A lot of things that were released kind of in merchandise and products. Of course, Disney Parks had their special evening events on May the 4th, where they had reopened the park for a special price ticket. After 4 o'clock, with a lot of different food experiences, character experiences. They have brought back the overlay for Space Mountain, so that Space Mountain is now Hyperspace Mountain once again. That's a very fun one if you've never done that.
It's great. I mean, I love me some Space Mountain, but Hyperspace is it's so much more fun.
It's my favorite ride, no matter what
so
iteration.
It's so simple, yeah.
Because Space Mountain is already a great ride, but then you add that that John Williams dogfight music.
Yeah.
And just add a couple of LED strips with like red and green bolts going by you. It's like it delivers. It totally delivers.
It really does.
Great little experience there. They've also got a number of additional character experiences, so like meet and greets. Of course, in addition to the kind of the regular, you always see Chewbacca and the Stormtroopers, but I think they've got a little bit more of the droid meet and greets and some other character experiences. I think actually I did see some photos from the May 4th night where they actually had some character meet and greets with some of the Rebels characters, actually, like Ezra and Sabine.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Tell me that means there's gonna be live action Ezra and Ahsoka.
Yeah, I'm gonna
after the Ahsoka series, probably
after the con on the 27th, because they have one more after Dark Knight on the 27th that I had bought back when we bought the badges, 400 years ago, and so we moved the ticket over. So I'm hoping, it'll be enjoyable.
Right
so,
on.
Yeah.
Well, you have to give us a report on that.
Yes, I'll take lots of pics and I'll bring stuff back and all that for sure.
As usual, we'll be living vicariously through Jason.
No, I'd put you all in my suitcase if I could. I have a big suitcase.
Yeah,
Still waiting for those adoption papers.
You couldn't say I'm your emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's smart. Okay.
You could wear your mermaid tail and just like be carted around.
I'm an emotional support mermaid.
That's okay. I'm just writing that down for future reference. So thanks. Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, speaking of big luggage, there's a lot of merch out there. I'm just gonna blow through a lot of this stuff. If anyone wants to talk
good
about
transition.
any of it.
So much baggage. God.
Yeah, so we have a new Dagobah set for Lego. Mattel has a new plush set called Galactic Pals, and they started with a Rodian character. Hasbro has a new Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure. It looks really great. Del Rey has a new novel featuring Anakin and Obi-Wan at the kind of the start of the Clone Wars. Let's see here. Biddy Boomers has
that's a titty
Grogu.
boomers.
That's a different Bluetooth device. This is a Bluetooth speaker that looks like Grogu. There's a Death Star candle from Homesick. You can look that one up.
Homesick.
And then of course Marvel Comics has a new comic series, Star Wars Obi-Wan #1, coming that is now released digitally. The comic will fill in the gaps in Obi-Wan's story from his youth all the way up to his time spent as a recluse on the desert planet of Tatooine. So check out all of that merchandise. I mean, particularly coming up on Celebration, we might be a good time to check in with Danny Janda, who is our merchandise correspondent, merchandise and lifestyles correspondent. Maybe we'll reach out to her again for coming up episode. Yeah, and then of course, then there's some video game stuff. Let's see here. Fallen Order is available for $9.99. This is for I think this is the downloadable version, I believe. And if you have
the one you need
game,
like the little remote for.
I'm not sure actually. This was something I was not able to research, but I'm just reading off the headline here. Rodney, can you illuminate us? Okay, well, Rodney's not listening. But there's also some stuff from Fortnite. Fortnite has some lightsabers and some Book of Boba Fett skins. Check out all of that stuff if you play the game. I still haven't played Fallen Order, but
oh, it's good.
$9.99 on Steam. Oh, actually, you know what? I use Steam. Wow, maybe I should look at that. Okay, well, check those out. If you use Steam as well, you can get Fallen Order for only $10. But we are into the point where it's time to get on to the meat of the episode. We're going to be talking about the Clone Wars, a 4-episode arc. Well, really a 3-episode arc and 1 episode from season 2 that kind of sets up the characters. This is the Clovis Arc, kind of dealing with Padme's old flame, Senator Clovis, who comes back into her life, and as it turns out, ends up being a separatist conspirator, or maybe unwittingly becomes a separatist conspirator, as well as competition for Anakin. So this is 4 episodes, season 2, episode 4, season 6, episodes 5, 6, and 7. We're going to start talking about this right now. So what did you guys think about this arc? It's kind of starting with Senate Spy and kind of the introduction of Clovis.
It reminded me of the fireplace boob heaving scene, but stretched over multiple episodes. In fact, I think she even wore that outfit at one
kind of
point.
wear a variation on that outfit of the dominatrix Padme.
It was that's like my least favorite part of the prequels, so I was a little like during a lot of parts of it, but at the same time I actually kind of liked the Clovis and Anakin dynamic. Not like, no shame on Padme, but like their dynamic to me was more interesting from like a patriarchal, weird, like male dominated society. We have to protect the little woman, like fighting over the women.
They reminded me of like frat bros from different frats aggressively posturing over a girlfriend.
Amanda. Yeah, like, exactly. Andy understood that reference.
I didn't say anything at first. I was just like, I'm having trauma flashbacks. This is not.
I mean, this is kind of one of the. I mean, I find this a really interesting arc in kind of unveiling how toxic Anakin and Padme's relationship really is. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's. I mean, it's really interesting where it's like, we already know that Anakin, has defied the Jedi code in terms of leaning into his attachments. But, because his attachments are so kind of rooted in fear, it becomes less like of a love and more of a, like he straight up says, I do not allow you. Which is like, dude, what the hell? What the hell is that?
Like, do you see them like being like on trial, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard at some point? like,
That's a whole
like,
other thing.
like they both kind of suck. Like neither one's really a good role model. Probably should never have been together in the first place.
It's almost like, this is just like a really good love story, except for the fact that Padme's still with Anakin. I mean, if you really kind of, pull it apart, but I mean, yeah, it just starts to show the increasingly problematic issues with their marriage. So,
well, it's also interesting in that you can also kind of see those little bits of Palpatine basically doing everything he can to he wins in multiple ways. He's seeding this whole situation that will lead to him taking control of the banks, and as a side side salad, he also gets to mess with Anakin's head a little bit by kind of pushing him over the edge into jealous rage, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I do notice that as the series gets to higher episodes, there's more of the he turns around and he's doing the evil smile, whereas in the earlier seasons he's not.
He very much plays Iago, kind of.
Yeah.
He's Iago to Anakin's Othello, and it's disturbing to me for the same reasons that Othello is. Just all of the jealousy that's masked with protectiveness, all of it channeled into anger, because that's the only thing that's ever been modeled as an appropriate way to express oneself.
Right.
I
mean, just kind of bringing it back to the theme of this episode, right? At the title scroll is a true heart should never be doubted, which of course, is clearly a cautionary line for Anakin too, right? I mean,
I'm also not a huge fan of. I think it's a little lazy, having a girl seduce a guy to get in somewhere. I don't know. I think that maybe Lexi can weigh in on that from a writing standpoint, but I always kind of roll my eyes at that a little bit because it's just so overdone.
I think that several of the arcs have done Padme kind of dirty, including her death, because there's a lot of potential where she shows herself to have a really calm head in a crisis, and she's clever and she's empathetic, but she can be kind of a hard ass when she wants to be. And so there's all this really good potential, and sometimes I mean I agree the choices seem a little too I would agree that they seem a little trope, they lean. I understand they go from being archetypal to a trope. That's their
right.
Trying to say.
And I will say that bothered me less than Anakin obviously playing her to get her to volunteer to be a spy. That to me was I didn't mind her kind of Black Widowing it a little bit, as much as Anakin obviously manipulating her to the point where she felt she needed to say, hey, I'm smarter than that, but he still tricks her, whereas she actually is extremely smart.
I mean, just is kind of a lot of people are blind to the pink or red flags that someone they care about presents if they don't have healthy, which brings us back to the whole toxicity of the nature of their relationship with the power dynamic that's at stake.
Well, and I also want to point out the toxicity of the Jedi as well, right? Remember that this episode is after the last arc that we saw too, right? Where we've already seen the Jedi Order making a lot of kind of dubious choices, and to the point now where Yoda is the one who asks Anakin to convince Padme, because they are friends, to go act as a spy. She's a senator. Why is
who's already said no?
Yeah, who's already
right.
said no. And literally for Yoda to say she should go meet up with her old flame, knowing they had a prior relation. This is, I mean, I think you guys are spot on, and I think there's a lot of really interestingly screwed up things in this story.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, right away, you know, like you've got some opportunities for Anakin to talk to Obi-Wan and maybe actually get somewhere unpacking these things, but of course he turns the opportunities down because the Jedi Order has never actually equipped him to have these conversations. So even when, you know, Obi-Wan admits like, you know, like I'm treating you like a brother here, let me admit like I've had feelings for somebody, and you know, even, you know, and then Anakin's like, it's not like that with me and Padme, and you know, Obi-Wan's like, oh, okay, you know. And
so you're talking about the event in, is that the next episode or
yeah,
the
I am. I'm jumping a little bit,
yeah,
but my brain just it reminded
totally.
me of this whole arc just reminded me of that.
So this is in the actually in episode 6 of season 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's the third part of this this 4 episode arc. But that's let's jump to that. So at one point Obi-Wan clearly can see how Anakin's jealousy is getting the best of him, and he has a really, I mean, you can kind of see him like really reaching out, and he's like, look, you know how it was for me in Satine, you gotta cool it, man.
Yeah.
And Anakin kind of snaps back at him, and like he seems genuinely hurt by it.
Do you think that Obi-Wan is a better or worse mentor for Anakin because he has also been through this? Whereas I feel like most Jedi haven't been through this. Most Jedi take it seriously to not have attachments. Whereas Obi-Wan has had Satine, and Obi-Wan knows that Anakin and Padme are in some way together. We see that, you know, when they meet in the box, right? That weird box when the Bad Batch were there. I think we were, you know, watching to catch up with Bad Batch or something. And
right.
And like Anakin walks out of this box where it was just with Padme, and Obi-Wan's like, "How's Padme?" You know. I mean, but because of that, and he knows what it's like. Is he a better or worse mentor for Anakin? Like, has he led him to the dark side even more because of that, or is there nothing that could have been done?
I think that Anakin, being as headstrong as he is, if he had had a really like hard, like super tough master who was all like no nonsense, no emotions, I think he might have rebelled even more. I don't think that's something that could have been stopped. Like I'm forgetting the term of it's like the gun on the mantelpiece. There's a term for it. It's based on like on a play gun? Head of Gobbler. No, it's not Head of Gobbler.
A Chekhov's gun, or
yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's just
where
like,
if you see
the gun on the mantelpiece, you have to use it.
You know?
Yeah, if there's a gun on the mantelpiece in the first scene, it's
someone's going to use it.
It's got to feel it's got to, and it will feel inevitable.
Yeah,
and it's got to be set up in a way that feels inevitable, and I think that's one of the things that Clone Wars is so very good at doing, is making it not forgivable but understandable and inevitable, like Anakin's progression and regression, I guess.
So now I wonder if Qui-Gon if he hadn't died, would have been a better mentor for Anakin, because he was obviously starting to have feelings for Anakin's mom and was able to move past it.
I think
like if he could have guided Anakin better.
What makes you think that Qui-Gon had feelings for Anakin's mom?
Well, just watching their interactions in the first movie in Phantom Menace. Like, I don't know. I always read it that way. Maybe that's just me.
Never read that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, I always read it that there was like a connection there. Like it always felt to me like a little bit like, because she's like Virgin Mary, right? Who like immaculately conceived, like this chosen one, and he always felt a little bit like Joseph to me.
Interesting. Okay, I never made that correlation. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
I always felt like he felt like connection, and then he kind of moved, and he just sort of released it, right? He released the attachment and moved on.
Interesting. Yeah, let him go. Okay, I can care about her that way. Don't have to act on it.
Right.
Which is very Qui-Gon if you think about it. You know, I think if I don't know. I mean, like, it's a big what if game, but the way that Ahsoka had both Anakin and Obi-Wan to kind of be foils to each other, and there's some ways in which they're similar, but to kind of balance each other out. I think maybe there is something to the idea that if he had both Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, that
I just keep coming back to Yoda, how fucking stone cold. It's like
he's really playing the long game, you know. He must really be playing the long game with that. I mean, whatever his age.
I still can't get over that he's like, hey, you're friends with her, she'll trust you, so maybe you can get her to say yes to, like, be put in jeopardy and go deal with your ex. Like, it is so fucked up.
Is Yoda any better than Palpatine?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, particularly in this regard. Yeah, I'm always kind of like, yeah,
I don't think I would go so far as to say that he's as bad as Palpatine, because he shows active empathy, and instead of, in a lot of situations where he wouldn't have to, as opposed to active malice.
But this is.
But I was going to say, but I'm not saying he's not like a cold motherfucker, because he is. And I'm like, I don't know if that's maybe just because living for so many years and being one of the longest lived species, he's like, this is how it must be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
In a way, he's kind of Vulcan-like, right? Like, he doesn't want them to die, but at the same time, it's like, well, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So if there's collateral damage, that's just what it has to be.
Thank you for drawing that. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to like think of a good parallel, and that's actually a perfect one. Yeah, I think he might be very Vulcan-like because of just by virtue of his lifespan.
But still willing to manipulate Padme's.
With a dash of Romulan in there, I don't know.
Romulan ale.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Chaotic neutral.
Or the blue.
So your other interesting things, yeah, and then there was a really bizarre, uncomfortable fight when Anakin, comes to get her released. So after she is captured by the banking clan, right? She's put in jail for sabotaging the banking clan, and then Anakin comes to get her out of jail, and they have another really weird, toxic.
Cringy.
That made me like recoil. Like, I'm pretty sure like my pelvic floor clenched so damn hard. I was like, oh god, oh no, get away, stop it. Oh,
it was a starfish moment.
No, that was really bad. Like good thing Anakin hates sand. I was dry as the Sahara.
Oh.
like he just came in all whiny, like, I'm good for dumping on your bench. Shut up.
Those will be.
Why are you 5 again? Why are you the
ladies
same
and gentlemen?
age
Check him out. Like, $24.95.
He's like acting like the same age as he was when he met Padme.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you an angel?
In so many ways, he never progressed past that, right?
Well, that's interesting, because it's like I'm reading in like The Body Keeps the Score, and things with like just other people who do kind of more somatic integration with like the body and trauma with psychology, talk about how unless you address it, like the age of your earliest trauma is how you will automatically deal with tough things. And so if you think about the age that Anakin started going through rough things, and the fact that he's never ever been taught to address it, it's like, oh, no wonder you're acting like a spoiled child, an angry child, a defenseless angry child.
So what is also really interesting to me about this arc is, had things not gone down the way they did, with ultimately Dooku like stabbing Clovis in the back, right? Would they even have stayed together? Right? Like, this is the big thing, right? He comes in like a complete jerk when he's releasing her, and she's like, screw you, we're on a break, I'm not going to see you for a while, right?
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty intense. Like, we've never seen that.
I was so proud of her in that moment.
I was too. I was like, yes, this is this is one of the few times I've been very proud of you with your energy. She's like, she makes these very healthy, like extra personal. I don't even know if that's a word. You know what, whatever, roll with it. That you guys get it. She makes these decisions outside of herself for other groups of people that are so, balanced and empathetic, but still practical. And she just can't do that for herself. And that's the first time I've really, really seen her do it. And I noticed it too, Tracy.
But in like the next scene, she's wearing the same outfit that she was wearing when she was like pregnant with the twins. And I was like, man, they broke up. And then I was like, in the next scene, she's going to be like, oh, I'm pregnant. I got to stay with him. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head while watching that scene. Because I think that was like the last episode. And she was like wearing that same outfit. And I was like, oh, it's because she got knocked up.
Actually, it was the second. It was the first one in the season 6. So because she gets captured in the first episode and then released at the end of it when he shows up and they go on the break. And so everything in that second episode in what is it, episode 6, like that, like they're on their own. And that's when Obi-Wan ultimately has to intervene and is trying to say, yo, Anakin, chill. Yeah, it's interesting. But of course, then we get to the end, and of course, as we mentioned before, Clovis does get stabbed in the back by Dooku. Of course, he's been a patsy this whole time in order to create a threat on the banks, or to create a phantom menace, shall we say, in the banks, that allows him to be outed as a separatist. Dooku Stone Cold just kind of leaves him there. Like they have a whole invasion force that draws the Republic army, and then they just skip out and just leave Clovis holding the bag, so to speak. And we have that final confrontation. Any thoughts on that?
I've said a lot.
Clovis sounds like the name of somebody who would just get taken advantage of and played like that. So Clovis.
From an animation and action standpoint, I know I'm veering off topic slightly, but I always look at that stuff with these, especially rewatching them. I thought like the action beats were few and far between, but they were like really well done. And then I think that final battle too was like one of the best of that Clone Wars era. I think technically it was really sound and really cool, because I've always had a small beef with that animation style. So that's just a personal, it's just a personal I have, because being in animation when I was in college, I look at that stuff, I'm kind of like, all right. But I thought that stuff was really solid. And again, I know I veered off topic, but I just think visually it was really cool and striking. So.
Well, and of course we have the really interesting kind of end to Clovis, right? Where ultimately, his desperation leads to a fight, and Anakin's, anger and distrust of Clovis leads to, an even bigger fight, which leaves both Anakin having one hand on Clovis and one hand on Padme as they're both about to fall to their doom. And Clovis basically makes the sacrifice play and says, no, let me die so she can live. He dies, and of course, the whole experience, the trauma of it all leads them back together. Tragically.
What was he gonna do anyway? He was like he was like shamed, and like he had like nowhere to go. Like he'd been played, he knew it. Like, to me that seemed like less noble than like, hey, here's my chance to peace out, Like, I don't know.
Hey, when you help others, you can't help helping yourself.
I do think he didn't want anything bad to happen to Padme. I do think that he had genuine feelings for her, but I think he also was like, well, all right, like I had my chance and I blew it. Like here we go.
I buy that it was a twofer.
Yeah, exactly. It was a twofer, a BOGO.
And I'm the thing that goes, bye guys.
It is interesting though too that they do seem to play him up as actually genuinely wanting the banks to be solid and trustworthy.
Yeah.
Right.
And not really getting an opportunity to.
Yeah. And this is also, just a very, really interesting. I mean, obviously it's portrayed somewhat simplistically, because how complicated can you really get into in a half-hour animated kids show? But like, I love the point where he's making a speech to the Senate, and he's like saying, I will, take control of the banks, and I will make it, solid and whatever. And then you have like the raucous crowd, and you hear just like the one random voice go, "What can you do?"
I will say, I kept waiting for Anakin and Padme to kiss, and they never did. I kept being like they're gonna make some kind of hint about them having sex, or they're gonna kiss or something, and they never did. And I was like,
that's good, because that always looks awkward in that animation style too.
It always looks awkward. I hate it.
Play-Doh. So
fair enough.
And and Palpatine controls the banks now, which is also just really interesting, like going in the grander scheme of things, of kind of how Palpatine basically little by little picks up complete dictatorial.
Yeah, we got it. There we go.
Dictatorial.
Dictatorial.
That kind of power.
The dick and the dooku.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. So any final thoughts on this arc?
I feel like I said my piece in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was not my favorite arc.
Don't date someone like either of them, no matter how sexy and exciting they are. That's the takeaway, guys.
A cautionary tale. Oh, yes.
Cautionary tale. I do actually like. I mean, I do kind of like how how this fleshes out the Anakin that we eventually see in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I mean, that's the thing that always kind of bugged me is in episode 3 he just goes from I'm serving my master to I am your servant, Palpatine. It's just like I now kneel before you, for no, like it was like just such a quick flip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you put this in the context of how his trust in the Jedi Order is eroded, how his trust in Obi-Wan is eroded, how his trust in his private personal relationships eroded, and it all kind of begins obviously with Palpatine kind of screwing with him, but also his own kind of inability to process the world around him and his attachments and how various parties are guilty of kind of creating an environment where he's just all he wants afterwards is just to control everything, right? It's just kind of fascinating to me, but a hard watch.
Did you see the crosstalk question that they just what planet in Star Wars has the best weed? Doesn't it have to be Mustafar? I mean, like that.
I mean, well, it would be spice, though, right? Would it?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I don't think so, because there's 0% surface water apparently, and I think.
Let's come back.
I'll get back to you on that.
You know what?
I will get back to you on that, because I got to think about that. But I could find a good answer right now. I want to say, if you had a clearing in Endor.
Yes, Endor. Those Ewoks are definitely high.
Let's finish up this wrap up. Do we have any comments in the chat about any of this, or that we want to before we want to move on?
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by very weird comments in the talk. What did you say?
For that reason, I was saying, do we want to highlight anything from the chat? I
don't think we do.
Okay,
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Now
And
I'm gonna
somebody-
go, now
and
I'm
now
gonna go
Kevin
look at the
think-
chat because now I just want to see what.
Yeah,
the hell's going on.
Kevin thinks from being trolled. So
Okay. Then moving on then.
okay, and now I think Rodney has now deleted those comments, so never mind.
Fair enough. So that is our show for this week. So this is, of course, content that we have been looking at as we gear up for Obi-Wan and re-looking at everything and some of the most important and consequential moments in Obi-Wan's path, and of course the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Then when we come back in 2 weeks again, we're going to be looking at what are we looking at the next time? We were hoping to take a look at the Obi-Wan Legends novel, and I do not know if I have the time to completely reread it. But Lexi, how good is your memory?
I mean, it's pretty solid, and I got all my Kindle notes.
All right, well, good.
Ooh.
So then Lexi will lead us in that charge as we jump into the Obi-Wan Legends novel, because I mean, I think I think it's fair to say that there will be a lot of cues that the new series will probably pick up from. I mean, we've already seen the EOP. We don't know if it has the same name, but yeah, it should be interesting.
What else I'm interested in seeing is, you're speaking about how the Clone Wars gives more of an arc from Anakin to Vader, and it'll be really wonderful, I think, knowing that Hayden has been watching has watched Clone Wars, has spoken to the actor, the voice actor, and all that. I am so excited to know he's been doing his homework and see how he's going to incorporate that and bring that to the character. I wonder what nuances he's going to give it. I'm really excited for that.
That is actually an interesting point. To see if he's able to kind of fuel his backstory a little bit.
Because he's got material he never had before.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I can't wait to see what he does with it.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We'll also do some pregame for Star Wars Celebration. Of course, Star Wars Celebration begins May 26th, I believe, is the first day. So we'll be doing some pregame with that.
Can I mention something about Celebration before we go, if anyone cares?
Do it.
This Thursday, May 12th, they're starting their virtual panel selection, where if you want to try to get in, you can request, like a reservation almost for up to 4 people. And then
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, and if you get in, then you're guaranteed a spot. But it's kind of like trying to get into Hall H at Comic-Con, but except you might have an RSVP if you're lucky. So I mean, but there's a link on the Star Wars Celebration website if you want to go, and it starts Thursday the 12th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So,
and if you don't get in, don't worry, it'll be on the internet 5 minutes later.
That is absolutely correct.
That is true.
That's why I don't wait in line for Hall H anymore.
Right.
All right. And we want to see any of your Star Wars creations. Do you make cosplay, make fan film, build droids, build models, sell stuff on Etsy? Show us how Star Wars has inspired you, and we just might feature you on a future show. So let's see here. Are we do we have the gang in the stables yet? Right.
The gang in the stable.
All right, then with no further ado, let's bring on
Are the ducks in the pond?
Are the ducks in the pond? Let's bring the ducks into the row.
Are the chickens in the coop?
I'm coming, Trace. What else?
Hey, once again, welcome to Trey and Chuck. How's it going, guys?
What's going down with everybody?
Stop.
Wait, Chuck, did you get a haircut, or is your hair in a ponytail?
My hair's in a ponytail.
Okay.
I just got my locks pulled back.
Oh, there it is.
It's all here. It's still all here.
Okay. So we have a very scintillating question for this edition of Crosstalk. The question is, what planet in Star Wars can you grow the best weed?
Oh.
Indoor. It has to be indoor.
Yes.
Indoor, yeah.
That's what I said.
They're already smoking that peace pipe over there. So yeah, they got that shit going on.
I don't know.
Yo, but the hydroponics on Coruscant might be off the chain though.
Be growing year-round indoors.
Like really good
year-round indoors.
And you can hide it in the jungle, just like in disguise.
It just blends in.
curly fleece.
No way those Ewoks aren't high.
Yeah.
That's true.
No way they're not.
I think they're cannibals. They have the munchies.
That's why.
So if you go to
madness.
Endor for weed, but you would go to Felucia for shrooms, right?
Very true.
We already know that Tatooine has a strong spice trade.
Yes.
As does Kessel.
I don't know. Dagobah?
Dagobah?
Yeah.
I think it's too swampy. It's too swampy.
You think so?
That would
That would actually be a great place for shrooms. All that humidity.
That would also be.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what Yoda was doing there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he was doing.
And that's why he talks. That's why he
I was
talks.
so happy all the time.
That's the secret of the dark side cave, right? He's like, how strong is that place with the dark side?
Maybe the Wookiee planet, Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk would also be like hydroponics. They'd be growing it like out on like the branches at the tops of the trees, so it wouldn't be right. You couldn't grow it down on the floor. Not enough light down there.
I would
all
imagine
the hanging buds.
I would imagine like Coruscant as the big city planet. It's like they're just doing like cocaine and crack, man.
I'm thinking Kashyyyk too. Kashyyyk may grow some good weed. It's the home of the Wookiees.
Very green.
That's what I did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the
comic style.
Polly wants a crafter said that that Yoda was definitely making mushroom soup.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So kept him alive for so many years.
Yo, that's probably it. Like for real, that is probably the reason why he is kept alive for so long. Yeah. You get the top-notch green, your heart just keeps going. Oh man,
that's hilarious.
So what? Then you have like in Hoth, you have, or like in Ilum you have a crystal meth. You know.
Yeah.
Kyber meth
makes crystal meth. Kyber meth, where they make crystal meth. They're cooking it there.
Oh, Kevin said we all know who smokes the most. Bespin in the Cloud. Cloud City.
Yes, Cloud City. That's right.
Cloud City.
That's right.
With a nice Colt 45.
Oh man.
That's a fun.
These are the important topics we talk about on Pod Squadron.
Yes, indeed. How about you guys? How are you guys doing? Are you guys excited about? Did you guys see the new Obi-Wan trailer?
I haven't seen the second one. I saw the first one. I liked the first one. It was definitely intriguing enough for me, but I haven't seen the second one. What was the big reveal on the second trailer?
Nothing huge. Just a couple more extended shots just to get a little better view of the Inquisitors.
Vader.
Some more streets of the new city planet. Yeah, some more Vader teases. Kumail Nanjiani, we can get a shot of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Camille was even in the show.
Oh yeah.
Rupert Friend not being friendly.
Yes.
Rupert not friendly. I think the thing I'm most excited about is the Inquisitor's hair looks nice. I like her hair. Look. I mean, that's a tough win. And a lot of mediums trying to get sisters' hairs right. Looks nice. You're talking about Rhaegar, right?
True.
Yeah. Okay. Her.
He was in the Scottish play, right? Wasn't she in the Scottish play, the new Denzel Washington one?
Was Macbeth? She was in Macbeth.
Yeah, I don't.
It was Macbeth, right? I think it was. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I know I'm not technically in the theater, but it's close enough that I do not say. But yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
She was really good. Right. She was really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about her.
The actress, so yeah.
Yeah, same here. So for me, it's going to be all brand new for me regarding this performance that she gives. So I'm rooting for her.
Well, I'm the one who hasn't seen the Obi-Wan trailer. I probably won't watch an Obi-Wan trailer. I just want to see it raw.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No spoilers for me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's more like, like when you see the interviews with Ewan McGregor and he's really excited, and that makes me really excited.
Yeah.
So regarding some of the tech, right, with Darth Vader, like Darth Vader's tech on his chest and everything, it looks like it came from the early 80s. Does it still translate well now? Like how are we feeling about that with the chest breathing apparatus and everything? Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're still all good. Because, like Star Trek has kind of like had to kind of deal with the old tech of the 60s and trying to figure out a way to make it work in today's, for today's viewers. And they found, cool, interesting ways to make it work. So I'm wondering, like, how do you all feel, my Star Wars experts, regarding some of the older techie ways things look and how that can be seamlessly involved in today's storytelling?
I mean, I will say they have created a canon explanation for the Vader costume. I think it was in a comic or something like that where they basically established that Vader could have gotten an upgraded suit with more modern technology. However, he didn't want a more modern suit so that he could feel all the pain, which would feed his rage and make him stronger in the dark side.
Whoa!
At least
that's why he has the pins in his head. Like the helmet actually puts spikes into his head. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't have all his
mate.
horsepower anymore, too, right? Because he's lost limbs and stuff.
Right.
So
which makes sense. Like people with chronic pain, right? Like people with chronic pain are grumpy.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, Jason.
Needs to smoke some of that weed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm agreeing 100%.
Chronic, he needs that.
So I blew up Alderaan.
Concentrate.
I gave him a bad price. I'm not buying at that price. Ready the weapons.
I have a question.
Okay, I love this. Wait, okay, sorry. From producer Rod says, wait, so is Vader a walking hookah?
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yes.
Wow.
He pulls a little chest plate out. He's got a lighter, and he's like. So why you hear him talking?
You hear him smoking all day long.
I wonder.
He's just burning all day.
That's why he has to go back and have it maintenance. They got to clear that filter out every night.
This is hollow. I bet I could turn this into a bong if I really wanted to.
Yes.
That's why I give you the force choke, because you're really just choking on. The force choke.
You just imagine like James Earl Jones.
He sounds like that guy's like, oh,
That's why
that's what it is.
Now.
That's what it is. Vader's really high.
All right,
that's great.
It's 7:37. You guys have a show. What are you guys talking about tonight?
Oh wow! See, we got a whole bunch of news that came out. Bumping out.
Doctor Who.
Yes.
I'm so excited about him.
Yeah. So it'll be first black man, right? First black man in the Doctor Who space. Yeah. So curious to see how that goes. And it's also, anytime they do some radical changes or what people think is radical, people always feel some kind of way about it. So so I'm curious to see what some of the feedback is going to be.
At least he gets the good writers back, whereas poor Jodie Whittaker had to deal with some not as great writers.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Is it Moffat who's coming back, or?
It's Moffat's
coming back.
I think Moffat is coming back, but the other one is starts with an R.
Honestly, it's just been more weird to me that the Doctor's in the 14th incarnation and has been Lily White for all of them. I'm like, that is weirder. Like, why is he so obsessed with Lily White British? Like, he's always talking about, I want to be a redhead. I'm like, how about anything? Anything. It could be anything. Oh, good, they did it. I'm so excited. So I can't wait to see how that goes.
I'm excited to hear the conversation change in a lot of other geek and nerdy news groups that I'm in, because unfortunately, Doctor Who just isn't like a big front runner, right? And there's a few people that talk about it, but it's really it's a lot of other things, right. It just, I think that it's going to allow other groups of people to be introduced into the world and hopefully increase the audience. Because a lot of times people will follow things if they have proper representation. So I'm hoping this gives that chance.
What I hope is that they do kind of really acknowledge, or hopefully
Russell T. Davis, thank you.
What I hope is that they are able to find ways to kind of acknowledge what it means for Doctor Who has been many different people before, and now is in the world as a Black British man, right?
Yes.
But still not a ginger.
A lot of ginger. I think he's going to have to acknowledge that. And I can't wait to see how they sneak that in.
You're going to know, like, your nerdy friends who are probably pretty misogynistic, you're about to find out who they are.
Probably too. Yeah, but there's another side of that too, because as soon as he jumps into a Black man's body, the first thing he's going to be is like, why do I always feel I'm in a constant state of danger?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. It's like, screw Earth, I'm going back more into space.
He's gonna go somewhere historic and be like, oh.
I also wonder if they're going to keep the same companions, right? Because they've had this queer South Asian companion through the whole run of this current Doctor.
Really? I haven't gone to the
Oh, not the whole run.
Yeah, she was the first.
Oh, is the girl is?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think she's leaving too.
She is leaving.
I'm
pretty
a
sure
season behind, so
yeah, I'm 2 seasons.
I think only that other guy, Stan, who I can never understand.
Which guy?
The Scottish guy who's like he is the epitome.
The older guy?
What is he saying?
No, the older guy left.
It's like that scene from Uncharted where he goes like, "Oh, welcome," and he goes like, "Huh?" I'm like, "That's me through every episode with that guy." I'm like, "Just put him over here."
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our show for now. Please come back and check out Geek Beast as they jump into all of these topics and more. So we're here on the Geekish Network. Starting May 3rd, we'll be back to weekly every Monday night at 6:30. We'll be covering Kenobi as episodes come out. Please follow Geekish Network on YouTube, Facebook, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining us here on Monday nights, and we'll be check out the schedules for all the other great shows throughout the week. Thanks to the flight deck to Rodney. We are the Pod Squadron. Please check out all of our content on podsquadron.com. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and for podcast subscriptions, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. I am Chinese Pirate at Chinese Pirate _ on all platforms.
I'm Tracy, Hot Nerd Girl. If you Google it, you'll find me.
I'm Lexi. You guys can find me at Feral Geek Aesthetic on Instagram and Feral Geek on Facebook. Sometimes
Jason's BeyondForever.net, Beyond Forever Studios, everywhere else.
And all wings return to base. Course laid in and prepare to make the jump to light speed on my mark. And remember, the truth we cling to depend on your own point of view. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. Good night, everyone.
I got donuts from DoorDash and they're here.
What? I want one. Give me.
That's better
But
than
first I have to pee. I want